In this session, I prepare for the discussions with the client leaders. The client information included is actually not real. Executive summary. ABC Corporation is America's multinational manufacturer and a marketer for the business and home appliance. The home appliance including the refrigerator, the kitchen oven, washing machine, heat and cooling furnace, and water heater. I will have the chance to meet ABC's leaders. The Matt is the CIO and Frank is the CTO, discussing ABC's business challenges, visions, and opportunities on enterprise IT and OT transformation, and introduce IBM's value propositions as the AI and industry solution leader on business and IT transformations. The solutions included are IT management solutions, AI automation solutions, and enterprise integration solutions. This document is to prepare the possible context for the discussion. Of course, I do not know what exactly the questions raised during the discussion. The below business transformation goals is keeping in my mind is first, the modernize ABC's manufacturing execution system and make it similar as the Tesla's Gigafactory, as robust as the Tesla Gigafactory, and the distribution system, and make it as efficient as Amazon's distribution center. The second is extend ABC's business model from industry products to the service and the subscription model. This slide shows the CTO's view and the CIO's view. In the left side is the CTO's view. From the CTO, I think Industry 4.0 could be the most important concept in most of the CTO. So what is the Industry 4.0? It's really that make the business more real-time, more responsive, and based on the data from the field. So that's why the enterprise IT is being transformed from the traditional business applications, for example, supply chain, CRM, ERP, enterprise asset management, manufacturing execution systems, and distributions, this kind of packaged software. Traditionally, it's disconnected to the OT. The IT people, the IT professionals, their mindset is object-oriented, global, and enterprise-level thinking. And the OT is engineers on the field. And they are really just directly the logic for the field. The scope is just on a certain workshop, a certain machine, the engineering mindset. They don't talk to each other. But with Industry 4.0, these two parts really talk together. And we need to transform the data collected from the field and to transform to the insights and start from the insights and to decide the whatever enterprise decisions to make. So consequently, the IT is extended to OT. The IT asset, for example, the incident, the events dramatically increased. You think about how many edge devices for the OT side, and how many smart devices is going to be in the number of the years. Besides, the assets, the traditional assets owned by enterprise is cross the border to the customer side. Think about the customer is purchased the refrigerator or the oven, and they will send the IoT data to the ABC corporate. And those data is going to be get the insights, transformed to the insights, and make decisions to recommendations to the business opportunities of that customer. It could be the service opportunity. It could be the new subscription of the refill of the filters, or it's like a replacement opportunity, right? So this is the CTO's view from the Industry 4.0's perspective for the future applications from the IoT, 5G, and AI and data perspective. And then in the right side is the CIO's view of the IT. CIO is always want to manage the IT, but the scope is dramatically increased. Traditionally, CIOs only manage the business applications on the top side. For example, the supply chain, CRM, ERP, asset management, the manufacturer, execution, distribution, those kind of the systems, and manage the ticket, and manage the operation, and manage the cost, and manage the asset. With the Industry 4.0, it's increased to the OT side. The asset is increased several times, many times, if including the edge device and edge data centers, and also the smart device distributed into the area and everywhere. And also the quality of the service is, the requirement of the quality of the service is increased, because demanding on the real time, mission critical, and like much less fault tolerance. And you cannot tolerate the fault. You think about the Tesla make factory. You want to every actions accurate. So this is the real challenge. During my past 10 years work on the Industry 4.0 and the next generation applications, the harder part is the scaling and management and make the operation smooth compared to the application prototyping. If we enter and step into our conference or events of the like Cisco events, Intel events, Broadware, and those kind of the events, and they all have different kind of POC. Can it scale? Can it manage where? This is a big question, and IBM is address these questions. Now, these slides include the 4 use case, which I think it could be the CIO and the CTO's interest. What is the CIO's interest? CIO is interested how to manage the IT, right? The first thing is from the cost spending perspective, this is the most directly challenge to the current CIO. So why the cost is increased 50% every year? Specifically, your public cloud spending is increased so much. These challenges typically come from the CFO, because CFO is providing the budget. However, he or she does not have the transparent view for the IT to align to the business value added. And a CIO has the same concerns, because he really need to respond to the business leaders such as CFO's concern. And he also need to manage his cost centers reporting to him, and to make sure every team is accountable for their asset provisions. So this is important. This is the first use case. This is called IT finance management or IT business management. The second area is about the automation. And to support the business modeling, for example, Industry 4.0, this kind of the mission critical solutions. And the CIO is looking for the holistic solution to manage the key IT subject areas. For example, the ticket system, ITSM, asset management. There are so many assets, and asset is very volatile. It can be provisioned and unprovisioned during the same day. And how can we inventory all these products? And IT asset management and IT operation management with roadmap to automation and AI ops of the IT management. So this is a huge setup for the CIO. And let's take a look at the 2 use cases of the CTO. The CTO interested in the next generation applications. The first, they want to modernize their existing business applications, right? The questions for the CTO is, okay, I have so many business applications, some of them from IBM. For example, I have the Maximo to manage my enterprise asset management. And I saw most of them from the third party. For example, I have the Salesforce for the CRM. How IBM's AI solutions to modernize our solutions and add value to our current business applications. Right? This is one. Number 4 is the kind of the forward thinking. How about the Industry 4.0 and 5G and industry IoT? These kind of applications, and what kind of value proposition IBM provide on the journey to the future Industry 4.0. Okay, now we complete the summarize. Again, to summarize the 4 use case, right? The cost management, IT key libraries management regarding the operations, and then how to AI enable the current applications, and also for the future next generation applications, Industry 4.0, what is IBM's value proposition to help this journey? Now we go through the use case one by one very quickly. The first is cost management. IBM's Aperture is the #1 product for the cost management. The way it works is the key value proposition is IBM's Aperture have the unique model. This model can provide the different perspective to the IT leaders for the IT spending, right? And of course, they have the model. The model have the perspectives to expose to the CIO how to manage each layers of the business applications, and so that CIO can understand their cost center, direct reporting teams, how their performance from the cost perspective. And they also can generate the models to serve for the other business leaders, particularly the CFO, because CFO does not care some perspective of the IT and how to manage, from the structure of the corporate object or anything. No, they want to align the cost and the business value added. How much money increased in the Azure and how much business value added, and Aptio have the unique business models to address that. And this is in the very high level how to describe it. Particularly, the second product is called Aptio Cloudability to address the public cloud, which is the common pain points for the most enterprise. And this slide's showing the kind of the roadmap, how to position the cloudability, which is the business applications to generate reports for the different business leaders, and the automation, because when you generate the reports, but you also generate the recommendations to maybe unprovision those resources never being used and scale up and scale down based on the needs, right? And those kind of things, IBM have the product Turbonomic and Ansible to automation the process. The development life cycle is different. The business applications is very quick. It's only a few weeks can be done. And the only thing customer needed to provide, for example, ABC need to provide is your Azure account and your Azure billing account and the usage account. That's all you need to provide. The rest of the things, IBM Active to work on those for you. And within 2 or 4 weeks, and then we can bring the proof of concept or even the pilot to demonstrate. And after the FinOps have been set up, that is, we call it as a crawl level. It's not automatic. The automation is take a longer time, because automation itself is say, hey, you get the recommendations to provision like 1,000 EC2 instance from the AWS account, and then you need to generate the process, and it goes through maybe ServiceNow and it goes through the approver process, and then to make it execution as smooth as possible. And all those kind of things is called the automation. And the IBM have Turbonomic or Ansible to do that depending on the needs. The second use case, now we talk from the FinOps perspective, from the cost management perspective. And then the second use case is from the automation perspective. Say, hey, how can IBM help the modern IT to automate the process and to respond to the instance in real time? And this diagram is showing the two parts. The left side is the enterprise IT and the OT combination. So all these things as a holistic system, we need to monitor, we need to manage these. So how can do that? IBM have the 5 products to address these one by one. Typically, the enterprise customer, of course, they have the ticket systems already ready. For example, the ServiceNow, and to create a ticket and to approve ticket to address the business workflows. And they have a database, it's configuration management database, including all the assets, which is related to the enterprise and be addressed. Those and associated with the incidents or events were associated with the certain configuration management subject. However, the question is your CMDB accurate? Is your CMDB updated in time? You think about it, the modern assets, for example, the virtual machine, the EC2 could be provisioned and unprovisioned in the same day. How can you handle that accurate in the close to real-time manner? At least every day you need to update your inventory, right? So IBM's product, the first product that's why I introduced it, IT asset management, the Flexair, is to make sure your asset is be completely scanned and also inventoried, and make your CMDB accurate and updated every day. So this is value. And then we go to move to the second product is Turbonomics, is automation. And in the previous page, we already see the power of Turbonomics. It's all about the automation. Whenever you see the inventory and then doesn't match, or the resource is being overused or underused, you need to scale up and scale down or unprovision the resource. The resource including the computing resource, storage resource, or input IO input output resource, whatever need to charge money on the public cloud, or you need to purchase. And then you need to manage by the Turbonomic, and Turbonomic can automatically to manage that. Okay, so these are, we call it kind of the mass data. It's really the asset data. And how about the operation data? Operation data, IBM has the Instana and the Server One. They collect the application data or the infrastructure data or the network data respectively. And with all these kind of the ecosystem, and this system is the loosely coupled, you can absolutely feel free to use other brand. For example, you have the New Relic or Dynatrace to collect the data. That's fine too, because the reference tell me is say, hey, we need to collect the operation data. We need to sync up the asset data, and then all this data being collected, and then we feed it into the IBM AIOps. The IBM's AIOps value proposition are two. They consolidate the events from the different systems. They will group them. Maybe the different events is reflecting to the same instance. They will group them. And second, they have the AI model to have the root analyze the data to find the reason of the incident. And also they generate the run box to fix the problem automatically. So overall, IBM's portfolio, including the very powerful products for the IT asset management, then an operation automation, and the operation data collections, and from both application data and network data. And also all this data feed to the AI ops, and then have the root cause analyzed, and then lead to the proactive and predictive analyze and proactive actions. Okay, so this is the second use case. Now, and this diagram is just our overview of all the IBM's products put together, including the Red Hat, the automation platform, and including the four major products, SaaS products, including the Aptio is about the cost, and Turbonomics is about the automation, scale up and scale down based on the resource, and the Flexair is IT asset management, and Instana, that is application performance management, is monitoring and observability tool. Now we step to the CTO's interest. The CTO is interested in the next generation applications. The first, they would like to see what's IBM's AI solutions to add value to their current business app. So this is the use case number 3, the first part, how the IBM's AI solutions to the IBM's product, for example, the Maximo. And this is the showcase I created a few years ago. And for example, what is the Maximo? Maximo have the two major functions. The first use case is create a work order in case there is problem. That traditionally is the service people where created the work order, say, hey, which asset need to fix, and then send the technicians to there. The second use case is the Mahi. It's called a Mahi dashboard, and it really assign a score to the asset. The score from the low to high, and indicate the product need to replace, to fixed, to inspected, right? And we want all these kind of things automatically happening. So the data is from the IoT. The use case, for example, let's say the oven or refrigerator. We will collect the temperature, the pressure, and maybe carbon dioxide. Refer to the you can smell like a refrigerator. You can smell good or smell bad. You need to clean those kind of things, right? You collect this data. All of data you collected based on the CIO, based on the IoT systems, and then it go to the predictive maintenance insights, and then they will have the models, and then to really get the KPIs to indicate that the asset is okay or not. If the KPI said, okay, the asset really need to send somebody to look into that, they will generate the work order automatically. They were automatically replaced, displayed on the Mahi dashboard, right? And also the service technician, we're using the IBM's AI assistant to understand what is exactly the problem. Some service technician may be very experienced, some service technician not experienced, but no problem. You can have the IBM Visual Inspector and take a picture, and then they can generate the recommendations for you. And you can also see the recommendations provided by the AI or generative AI from the existing data. For example, the ticket from the ServiceNow, the ticket history from the ServiceNow. So IBM really have all these kind of things set up. If you want to enable the AI solutions to your Maximo, the existing solution, it's very convenient. All the IBM's integration part will be much easier than you get the heterogeneous systems. Now let's take a look at the use case number 2. If to your Salesforce system, your sales rep or the service rep, you accept the course, and then to get the information, and you want to get an assistant to understand what exactly the customer want or what exactly customer's background. So IBM's what's the next AI is going to be provided the information and the insights of the customers and provided the information. This is only one of the use case. For example, okay, the service rep need to understand the customer's needs. As you can see, IBM is loosely coupled from the Salesforce. However, if you see the user experience, it's going to be very consistent. So this one is the user experience of using the IBM Watson Discovery to discover the customer insights when the service rep is managing a case, right? As you can see from the user experience perspective, the user, which is the service rep, is not see the difference. It's the native widget and showing the customer insights conveniently to the customer. And from the Salesforce development perspective, it's also native because IBM's solutions has been published to the Salesforce App Exchange, their marketplace. And the developers just needed to directly add on the widget to their space, and then it could be work, and then it's going to work. It's just work as the native Salesforce apps and widgets. And how the AI works, this is the general one slides I put together to represent the Watson X, which is IBM's latest AI platform. So in short, what's the next, including the three part, the AI part, data part, and the governance part. So we know any kind of the AI solutions, including you need to have the data pipeline. You collect the data and ETL the data and transform and normalize the data, prepare the data for the model. So that is the data part, right? Number one. Number two is the AI part. AI part have the two major components, including the Jupyter Notebook. This is the common adopted tools for the data scientist to implement the tool and develop the models, and also Prompt Lab, that is the tool for the testing. So really, the integrated approach, you create the model and you test on the Prompt Lab, and then you give the feedback, and then you do that. So this is totally iteratively. And also, number three is governance. And then deploy them all after everything done and tested, you just deploy to the industry solutions. In this case, the Salesforce solutions. Now, we already worked through the use case 1, 2, and 3. And number 4 is kind of the forward thinking. Hey, what is the industry 4.0? And what is the industry 4.0 infrastructure? And how can we start it? And what value IBM can provide on this whole journey? So first, I just use my diagram to show how can we set up the infrastructure of the industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is typical IoT scenario. They collect the data from the field. So on the top layer, it is IoT from the left to right. We get the device, edge, and a public cloud, which is the IoT applications, and have the different protocols and communication protocols between the smart device and edge and a public cloud. And for the future, first generation IoT and the MQTT protocol with the very small payload, and it can make some IoT. But in the future, it's going to be to have the streaming data, have the video data, and then that's why, and also have the robot scenario, have the automation. The companies need to initiate the 5G and a private cellular network in the factory, in the distribution center, if you want automation to the level of the Tesla or the Amazon, right? And for example, if we want to make your factory in Ohio, a factory in Indiana, to be 5G enabled, the first you need to introduce the telecommunication providers, for example, the AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and they will provide, and then they have the infrastructure to set up, and then to set up the edge application, the IBM's value proposition, and then you go to the edge manager and the equipment to do that. And in here, you need to have the edge data center installed. The edge data center, typically you can extend the public cloud, AWS, Azure. And now IBM's value proposition still, that is to manage the edge. So this is the most difficult part. We need to deal with the incident, we need to deal with the asset management, and we need to handle the operation automations. And from this scenario, as you can see, no vendor by itself can complete this kind of the setup of the 5G. You got too many vendors value chain there. And IBM has positioned with the best position to manage or lead the whole initiatives of the next generations 5G and IoT, because IBM is positioned itself as the management software with the AI and the data enablement. And this diagram is showing the vendor partner ecosystems to accomplish these and IBM's value proposition. As you can see from the left to right, you have the public cloud. Of course, they provide the data centers. They provide whatever data on the public cloud extended to the edge, right? And also the IoT hardware and software manufacturers. You get the Hitachi, you get the AdLink, you get Advantech, all those kind of the edge or smart device. And IBM is really the solution side. Number one, IBM is the industry leader, and IBM is the AI leader, and IBM is next generation data management leader, data management and application management leader. So if you want to initialize these kind of application, probably the company like IBM is the first company you want to talk with compared to the OEMs on the manufacturers for the hardware and the software for the specific value propositions. Okay, and this is the last diagram on the use case number 4. The scenario is the heterogeneous. First is heterogeneous, maybe involved different cloud, and also involved the edge and the OT side, the device, and how IBM's product to manage the first is monitoring. IBM Serve 1 is network performance monitoring. And if you can see, if the private cellular network case, all the data coming, data flows on the edge and across to the telecommunication provider, telco service provider for the 5G, and also on the edge and on the public cloud to the public cloud and the corporate network. And they are monitored. And the second is managed, to manage the device on the edge. The manage is really have the life cycle, for example, the deployment and over the air upgrade. Think about the edge could be thousands, tens of thousands, even millions of the edge device. If you consider, for example, the customer who purchased the refrigerator, they have the edge device there because you want to collect the data and manage data and over the air update there. It's just the mindset of the Tesla. Every customer of the Tesla is one edge, right? So, and IBM have the multi-cloud mesh to, in case they have the multi-cloud situation, they are manage the deployment and the management from the application development perspective. So the real challenge is still the same, the different personas, the engineers, network engineers, and application developers, they have different perspective. IBM's product is always focused the area to get the holistic view or holistic user experience with the different personas. Mesh is for the different cloud. The edge is from the OT and IT side collaborations. So this is a very high level introduction about IBM value propositions, always on the management side, and so that it can sustainable, so that the system can smooth and it can operation as usual, and also respond to the instance as needed. Okay, so besides the 4 use case, this is the last page for the integration because all of these is be orchestrated together by the integration. IBM is the traditional leader in this space for many decades. My career started from like 23 years ago. It started from the IBM message broker and MQ, which is the middleware. Now it's evolved to the different product, IBM application, including the App Connect, that is the Enterprise Service Bus, and the API Connect, and also the data power is really across the DMZ zone or across the securities and cooperated securities. And also the messaging, the MQ and the event stream is based on the Kafka, pops up the infrastructure and high-speed data transfer, IBM Aspera. So IBM have all these tools as an integration portfolio to provide the enterprise to integrate the applications as needed. For example, the AI and data and all these kind of things needed to integrate. So now the summary. The summary is the Industry 4.0 revolution drives the scope of the enterprise IT extended to OT field and demands the close to real-time management of the enterprise IT/OT as a holistic solution by responding the incident, assets, operations, costs, etc. And IBM's technology portfolio offers the holistic solutions to help enterprise transformation needs. This document explains the number of IBM's key value propositions, including IBM is the leader of the industry and IT management. IBM is the leader of the AI and automation. IBM is the subject matter expert of the enterprise integration. So this concludes this session introduction of prepare for discuss with the client leaders. Thank you.